Hi beauty fam, welcome to Mickey Car Beauty. I'm Mickey, and on this channel I love to review luxury beauty and skincare. I'm a makeup and skincare enthusiast, and today I am reviewing the Tom Ford ×2 Lava Lustre Quad, a mini one that came out in late 2021. You'll get my review of how I think this is compared to other products I have. I don't think it's a dupe for any other Tom Ford products just because it's a new formula, but I have other products in my collection that might be a dupe for you, and I'll let you know what I think of this and how it works on medium tan skin tone. And I have this on my eyelids right now, so if you're interested on the review, even if it works for me for tan skin, then keep watching. And I ended up picking this up around the Black Friday haul sales. I did not get it on sale. I ended up getting this on Beautylish. I'm a big Tom Ford iQuad fan, but for the past 2 years I've found that I've not really been liking their color stories and their quality. So when I saw this, this is really a lot different than what they've been putting out. So I ended up picking this up. Something to note, it does come in this pouch. Usually it's a brown velvet or brown velour, brown velvet like pouch, but the packaging is definitely different, where it's usually brown and gold. Well, this time it is kind of like this, I don't want to say it's white, it's like a grayish white, and that's kind of like this ombre effect to this mirrored effect here. So it's actually pretty cool. It's ×2 Lava Lustre, made in Italy, retails $89 like most of the Tom Ford iQuads. I have makeup on already, but I'm going to do some swatches and then probably take this makeup off just so we can do some comparisons. So it is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see. I mean, it's really pretty. It's actually pretty slick and cool. I like it. So this is not the wet dry formula, which they're most known for. That is my favorite formula. I think it is very unique to the market, and you know, this is an $89 quad. You know, that's $22.25 per quad, which is, you know, I guess if you look at things like independent brands like Cleona and whatnot, the past 2 years, I stopped liking most of the Tom Ford iQuads after First Frost, and I've tried to swatch and try them out for me a lot, and it's controversial. Like, a lot of people really love that First Frost quad. I did not like it. It did not pull nicely on my skin tone, even if when I was more olive, like neutral olive versus warm olive, it just didn't show up on me. So that palette went goodbye. And so I think it really depends on your undertone if that quad is going to look pretty. And you know, all quads don't work for everybody. So, you know, I was curious to try out this quad, and let me tilt it so you can see. There's definitely some variations on color here. So these are definitely the warmer colors, and this is actually the warmer colors, and this is a little bit more cool tone. Really pretty. And I had swatched these in my Black Friday hauls video, which I'll link above. And actually this color story reminds me a lot of the Lisa Eldridge liquid Lurex. So specifically I'm thinking of Lauren and Diana. This reminds me of Lauren, and this reminds me of Diana. Bianca, yeah, Bianca reminds me of this. So let me finish doing a double swatch of these. Okay, so no mattes in this palette. Definitely an interesting formula. I think what I'd be curious to see is if over time this might hard pan. I just have a feeling. Maybe it won't, but we'll see. Let me just do a really quick comparison next to these liquid Lurexes, because some of you, she just released these, so I know some of you got this. So here is Bianca. And I'll be doing a review of this at some point. So that's Bianca. This is definitely more, a little bit more purple and cool. This is Diana. I love this. On my Instagram, I did a look of this. I was in the car. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. And it just turned out really, really pretty. So definitely more orange. There's more red in that. And actually it could be similar to this up here. This is Lauren. This is definitely more yellow. Actually, that's a better dupe for the lower one, for the yellow. So you can see it's like a similar vibe. This is definitely more periwinkle purple, lilac. Grabbing a Wang 16 brush. And then just grabbing a bit of this bronzer here. I'm just putting it, making a crease shade for myself here. Oh, it's lovely. I've never tried to use this as a crease shade. It's a nice color brown for me. Okay, I just want to go in too dramatic. I just wanted to use some of that as grounding. Taking that color here. Okay, definitely a shimmery shade. Not anything remarkable. Yeah, and there's just definitely some kickback in there. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna take this shade here. And I'm laying it adjacent to where I put that crease shade for the bronzer. It's kind of like in between. There's definitely some fallout. Very subtle. It is pretty. Let's see, a shade up here. Okay, you can hardly see it. So going into that kind of cool shade again, and then just packing that on. Oh yeah, that's definitely more payoff. Okay. See that what I'm afraid about this product is like, oh, well, maybe I'll just try it. It's like the more product one can lay on, it could add more creasing. But let me just see what happens. And I'm just kind of putting it in the middle part. Okay, definitely amped up that look. And then add some more of that orangey shade. Okay, so that's one eye look again with these two colors, the more cool tone one and this one right here. It's really pretty. Taking my other Refer 02 brush, probably the lighter one. It's more the yellow shade, or golden, I would say. Okay, that's the one that's more gold. Definitely with some more silver, cool tone, and this is gold. My clean finger, and then again, do the same thing as just going into that shade and then using my finger to pack on the color. There's definitely more fallout by using that, but you know, it can be brushed away. Let me. Okay, trying that again, going in with my finger. Well, this is definitely more of a fire red. Reminds me of like a phoenix rising into the sun. This is the Va Va Boom color. So there's some transition here. So this side again is the one with the more fiery red, these two colors, so red and gold, and this one is the cooler one, cool, like the silver and then the orange. So silver and orange, red and gold. And you know, after it buffs out a little bit, at least on my skin tone, it's hard to even see if there's a difference. I don't know if you see a difference, but you let me know. See if I can build it up more so that that red shows more through. We'll see. I can see it in person in real life, like the difference. It's definitely more red, but the other part is more orange. But because they're so similar, it's really hard to really tell the difference. Now, if I put them all over my lid, there might be a difference, which I could do. Okay, so I just put on the Affair lip gloss just to kind of neutralize and not compete with the eye look. A little bit more neutral. So again, this is the one on this eye is these two colors. And on this eye, it's these two colors. I don't know if you can tell a difference. I mean, what I see the difference more of these, the crease shades look very similar. It's more just whatever is on the lid. Obviously, this is more gold and silver. There's definitely fallout in the pan. So the more I dig into it, I'm definitely feeling of the product move. This quad is reminding me of the Roen eyeshadows. And I only have one of the Roen eyeshadows. And again, it's kind of this similar vibe. It's like actually gray and it has this reflective quality. And it also comes in a white pouch. So it reminds me a lot of this. So let me do these side by side. This definitely runs a little bit cooler, but there's some warm tones in it. Can you see? This is definitely more emollient, and I actually do like this quad. I should reach for it more. Again, this is why I like need to go and shop my stash. So this color here, the coolest one, I'm going to swatch, and I think that could be a possible dupe for the Roen 111. And I'm thinking about this color here. And these are best really done with your fingers. So definitely more bling on that. See? Pull back so you can see. So here is the Roen on top. Okay. A little bit icier, but there's the orangey one from Tom Ford up here. And it reminds me of this one here. That's Roen. This is Tom Ford. Tom Ford, Roen. Similar vibe. Swatched the red one. And then swatching the more that's a little bit more, actually this is more plummy. I don't think this is really red, but we'll go ahead and swatch it anyway. Yeah, that's more purple. So these 1, 2, 3, these are Roen, and these 3 are Tom Ford. So definitely a similar vibe. The difference with this is that it's more emollient of a formula. It's definitely messy, but I don't mind it because it's this really beautiful kind of grungy glam, and it comes with a cool tone. So you know, similar vibes to me of these liquid Lurexes. Kind of like these can be, to me, these are really elegant and simple, where this is kind of like grungy and just kind of sophisticated, but a night out kind of glam. They're different, but they're very similar. I'm not a fan of these two colors. It's like too warm for me. And I'd like this contrast. So if some of you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I've been mixing more warm tones with cool tones. Okay, I want to see what this red one looks like if I just do it all over. And why don't I just go ahead and do that? So I'm already starting to see that it's starting to make a divot, because you do have to press in more for the product. I don't think I'm too heavy-handed, but I think this product, the way it lends itself is that you do kind of have to dig in a little bit on the product. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just covering the entire lid to see what this looks like when I'm done, because it really is a beautiful color. Okay, so that's the red one. I do like this one. But you know what? For the sake of balance, why don't we just go ham on the orange? I'm gonna bet it doesn't look any different. It's gonna look less red, but it's still kind of very similar just because it pulls so warm on me. But I want to say for the record, I definitely like these two combinations with the cool. Run that over. And in fact, I'm like confusing myself because these are too similar. I'm like, which pan did I just touch? And it is pulling lighter on the lid because I have that silver laid down, but it's still pretty. Okay, so let me get up closer. So on this lid, I have, it's hard to tell with the more red one, and on this lid, I have more of the orange. Okay, so very pretty. This is the final look. Just some final thoughts on there. Again, this is my first impressions of putting them on my eyelids. I think it's a confusing quad to me. I think they put out a quad for the holidays, but this is what I wish Tom Ford would do, is that their PR campaigns are not that great where they're having models, like they have pictures of people using the product, but it's still obscure to me, as opposed to like nowadays, I think consumers want to see the product and how people are using the product, and people have different skin tones and undertones. And I just feel like Tom Ford doesn't really care that much. And that's just my impression. Like they put out stuff, they're riding on the tails of, they know that people love their products, but I'm confused. I'm a bit confused of this palette. It's a different formula, and that's exciting, and that's why I wanted to try it. Is it as good as the wet and dry formula? Absolutely not. I'm hedging because I don't want to say I dislike it, because I do like the colors, but again, I just swatched you two different really great products that are very, not necessarily dupes, but close dupes and vibes. And this is an $80, $88, $89 quad. Do you need it in your collection? You know, I'm gonna always be honest with you on this channel, always. If you have these already in your collection, or you have the Roen 1111 quad, or you're still kind of like on the fence of like, you know, if you're a warm tone lover and love shimmers, I would say this is going to be your jam. But if you're like, I'm not sure if I like these warm, these are definitely the warm colors. This is the only one that runs cool. And actually, I don't prefer these ones as much. I gravitate towards the cool tones. And it's just because these are almost indiscernible on my warm skin tone. So what happens is that because of whatever the color pigments are, it just pulls into my skin tone. And really, there's two different colors on this, but really doesn't it look the same? I mean, you tell me. So in a way, it's like I'm trying to get two different colors at $22.25, but the way it shows up on my lid, it's really looks like the same color. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I don't really like, and some of you have seen my other videos, I'm really picky about how golds show up on me. And if I'm being honest, like I just have a lot of gold in my collection between Natasha Denona, the gold palette, all her palettes, and let me just say, Pat McGrath, like there's a gold in every, there's a gold in every palette of hers. So, you know, is it the best gold in the world? No. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about this. Is it worth getting? I don't think so. If it's a color story and it's a dye formula, definitely get it. Again, I'm really perplexed and confused about Tom Ford's releases. And I know that he came out one that was like a more cool tone, and maybe that would be more my jam, but I don't think I've seen reviews on it. I don't know if it's out yet. So I'd be curious to see what that looks like in real life. I just didn't see enough contrast between the four colors, again, to make me interested to buy the other palette. Because at this price point, and I'm always like, for me, I want the colors to be different. And the ways these show up on my skin tone and eyelids, they don't look any different in my opinion. Really try it. Again, this is the red. And I'm like digging into the pan, right? This is the first time I'm really using it. So you can see how much, if I'm gonna be using this more, like how much I'm gonna be fighting with this pan. So it's, you know, it's like a lighter orange, but can you tell the difference from running far away? I actually prefer this color over the red. Again, this is a first impressions. I like to try, you know, products at least 3 times before I give it the final thumbs up or the final boot out of my collection, because and I'll do this video probably tomorrow, as I'm going to go through my collection with you, and then you're going to go through with me on which ones are old, that which need to leave and like going to be thrown out of my collection, and if, or some of them just need to move on and be rehomed or sold. And I think I had mentioned that in my previous video. But that's it for my review. You know, I don't love it. I think it's pretty, but I didn't need it. If I'm comparing these two, and I'll do my own review of this separately because it deserves its own review. I'm enjoying these liquid Lurexes a lot more just because I didn't have to work as much to get a payoff on these. And these are beautiful one and dones. They're also beautiful together, but literally have used these a couple times. I've been in transit and been using these. I've taken one with me and then used it, and it's been beautiful. I just don't see myself taking this with me like in a car or a train and then doing this look for work, if that makes sense. Or, you know, depends on what your jam of what you're doing nowadays. I hope that's helpful. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to Mickey Car Beauty, and would really appreciate your support, beauty fam, if you commented below and liked, and ring the notification bell. That way you can get notification of my videos, which go up 2 to 3 times a week. As always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.